Alright, hey guys. So this video is one of the last videos for our course. We've spent a great amount of time taking apart and kind of diving into research, looking at different things separately. We've looked at stats, you've had some practice with stats, we've looked at different areas of research, um, and you've learned to critically appraise sections of the research. And you've also learned how to search for articles and develop PICO questions and other essential and important factors of research as a whole. Now it's time to take all of that we've learned and tie it together so that you can see it in a full plain view. And I'm going to present this to you in more of a walkthrough of an entire article. Because we spend a great amount of time critically appraising, and this also helps you to better understand. One of the greatest aspects, or one of the greatest things to take from this class, is that this is not something that you're going to learn overnight. Research can be hard. It can be difficult to really read through, comprehend, and understand what it is that you read, and it can take a lot of time. But as long as you are comfortable with knowing what you're looking for and what you're looking at, then you're a step ahead. So, know that this will take some time and you'll get better as you go along. The more articles that you read, the more research that you do, it will all make sense. But as long as you have the basics and you understand the foundation of research, you will be alright. So now let's take everything that we've done and tie it together. Now I want to mention that this video is very, very, very generalized. I'm just trying to put everything that we've learned so far into a full plain picture. Or picture, sorry. I would also like to note that please know that depending on the type of study you're looking at, you will critically appraise or look at the information a little differently. It does make a difference on the type of research study it is, whether it be observational or experimental. These sections may be set up a little differently depending on the type of research, so how you critically appraise it or look at it may be a little different, okay? But that will come as you go. So we're just going to go over the basics and put together the basics so that you have something to step forward with. Alright, so we're going to do a full walkthrough as if we're critically appraising or putting together a whole article. So I'm going to explain each section, and I'm also going to explain where the stats fits in and why we've taken the time to learn that and why it's important. So, where do you usually start when you're looking at a research article? You first look at the abstract. Now, the abstract of a published study serves to describe briefly what was studied, how it was done, and the results. It allows whomever is reading the article to make a judgment of whether a study is of interest without having to read the complete paper. If you want to basically be able to skim the abstract and say whether or not this could be a useful article to read later on for whatever it is that you're trying to answer. I hope you can see the screen okay, by the way. The next section that you generally see within a research article is the introduction. The introduction section, it sets the scene. This is what you're going to look at to get an overview of this study. It eases whoever's reading the article into the research by presenting the issue that the researcher wants to answer, or the problem or hypothesis that the study is addressing. It explains why the study is being conducted, and it gives you an impression of the potential importance of the research. It can also expand on how the research was conducted. And sometimes depending on the type of article, you'll see it separated in two sections. So you may see a background section and a purpose section. Now, the background section presents the information of the introduction by telling why the researcher who's conducting the study thinks it's important. It usually it should reflect a comprehensive knowledge of the body of research on this subject, and it should kind of brief the reader on previous studies conducted up to this point, as well as support the concepts or theories of the current study, and also those that may not. So, in essence, it brings you up to speed on current thinking and presents you with rationale for pursuing the study. Now, the purpose section, it essentially defines the study. It states the question and it briefly announces how it will be investigated. And in some instances, you may find that the study does not seem to be appropriately designed or conducted to achieve its purpose. So, an example of this could be, the type of study that is being researched may not yield the type of information required to answer the stated question, or the study population may not fit the purpose. Okay? So when you're looking at the introduction, some things that you would generally kind of ask yourself is or are: one, what are the inherent limitations of this type of study? Two, does the research design fit the stated purpose of the study? And has the author omitted from the background section important points that could affect the study design or possibly interpretations of the results? The next section, we've spent a great deal of time, and there are separate videos on this already, of how to look at this section, the method section. The method section essentially asks how. It enables who's ever reading the article to determine whether the research is valid. And we all know a great deal about validity. Okay? You want to know, was the study adequately designed to achieve its purpose? And that's why we spend a lot of time, and we've spent a lot of time reviewing this information, and it's why it is important to continue when you're looking at a research article to take time to carefully review this section. It explains how the research was conducted, and it should give you information in enough detail to evaluate the study. It also should enable you to understand whom or what the study results apply. Okay? And I've listed some review facts of the things that you're looking at when you're critically appraising the method section, but I won't go into detail of it here because we've already done so on a previous video. Now, the next section is the results section. This is a big part of the paper, and this is a section that will take time to understand. And that's because there's a lot going on, statistically, of course. So, the more articles you read, the better you will get at understanding the results section. And this is also the reason why we've spent a great amount of time reviewing stats. And we're going to pause for a second after this and review stats and see where they kind of fit into this section and understand why we've looked at what we looked at, why we've looked at what we have looked at. So, the results section. Well, of course, it's an important part, but this section of a study, well, it does. It essentially provides you the answers that you're looking at. So, it provides answers that you're looking for statistically by providing you with statistical analysis. And statistical measures can clearly and accurately convey the existence and strength of relationships observed in a study. So that's why it's so important. So now let's pause from the actual going through the article, and let's take a step back and let's do some reviewing of the stats and of the things that you generally see within the results section.